guys,
Hey
it's
everyone.
Stephanie here.
This is Luke.
And we are here to talk to you guys today about your story. Okay, so your story is going to be an important part of your coaching business. Why? Because it is going to be your major relatability factor when it comes to your audience and when it comes to the people that you are supposed to be and meant to be helping. And so identifying and writing your story is going to be incredibly important. And so what I hope is that after this video, you'll go ahead and either email me or email your coach your story so that we can give you back some feedback and we can also help you and give you some advice and some tips on how to share it. So, Luke, why don't you go ahead and tell them what is the first thing that they should think about when they are sitting down to think about their story?
So the first thing that you want to think about whenever you write your story is, what was your life like before becoming a coach or before you start your fitness journey? So you want to think about like how you were navigating throughout life, like what were some of the things that were happening, how you were feeling, what was going on around you or with you. You really want to take yourself down memory lane to really look at yourself how you were right before deciding to join our community.
And just piggyback off of that, thinking about like what were your struggles, thinking about what were the thoughts that you used to have, what were your fitness struggles, what were your mindset struggles,
some of the bad habits you used to have.
Exactly. And also think about, guys, like what were some of the obstacles you had in your life, you know, because that's going to be a part of your story. For example, take myself. I was someone, I struggled with getting into medical school. And so I share a lot of that, and that is part of my story. And so I want to encourage you to think about what were some of those obstacles in your life, what were some of those struggles. And I know sometimes that can be a little difficult, and you may say, well, I don't want to, share the hard things, but I want to encourage you as someone that's been in this business and someone who understands more about kind of what people want to hear. They want to hear the real you. They want to be able to relate to your struggles. And so even though I know sometimes thinking about those hard things may open up a wound, know that within that wound is your wisdom, and know that within that wound there is light that you can give to someone else. And so what I want you to do is, if you need to stop this video right now or just immediately right after this, I want you to brainstorm on a piece of paper everything about your story, the good and the bad. And again, don't just think your physical fitness. I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about, were you lacking passion? Were you lacking purpose? Just were you struggling as a single mother? Were you struggling financially? All of these things, I want you to brainstorm and just write everything down, because it's going to be incredibly important when it comes to writing your story. So after you start thinking about what was my life like before joining this community, I want you to start thinking about, how has your life changed since becoming a part of this community? And so these are going to be some of the things that you have been feeling since joining. Maybe you have a physical transformation already and you're super excited. Maybe you've been doing personal development and you're very excited about some of the mindset changes that you've been going through. And so really crafting how being a part of this community has added to your life, guys. And if you think about it, this is the part of your story that is going to keep evolving. The part about what was your life like before, that's gonna stay the same, right? You can't go back and change that. But this part right here in the middle of what is your life like since becoming a part of your community, that is going to continue to evolve. And the more that you go through, both as a coach, and as just a normal person in your everyday life, the more that you take from personal development, the more that you transform your body, the more skills, the more lessons you learn, you're going to be able to take some of these lessons and continue to share that with your audience so that you can increase your relatability. Does that make sense? And so just think about that as part of your story. And then the last part to crafting your story is, what are you looking forward to in the future when it comes to being a part of this community, when it comes to coaching? And so this is going to really, hopefully this is something that excites you. What is it that you're looking forward to? Are you looking forward to helping, thousands of people and inspiring and motivating thousands of people? Are you looking forward to financial freedom? Are you excited about transforming your mindset so that you can live a happier life that's more, walking in your purpose? What is it that you are excited about? Really allowing yourself to dream big and to really create that vision and to really formulate it in words, because that way you can express it to your audience, because that is what's going to attract people. So really think about that. So those are the 3 steps to your story. What was your life like before joining this community? How has your life changed since becoming a part of this community? And what are you looking forward to because of this community or because of coaching overall? Another thing I would add is that you want to make sure that you are sharing your story frequently. And what I mean by frequently is at least twice a week. This is important, guys, because a lot of times one of the biggest mistakes I see coaches make is that they share their story on, like, let's say one day, like Monday, let's say, and then they never share it again for like another couple weeks. You have to understand that when you post on social media, your posts only last a couple hours, at max. And actually, your posts are only really seen by about 2% of the people who are on your social media. So don't feel like by posting frequently that you're going to kind of annoy your friends or you're going to annoy your family or your audience, because that's not necessarily the case. Understand that when you post, not everyone is seeing your post, and so get into the habit of being consistent, and sharing your story should be one of those consistent behaviors. So I always tell coaches Tuesdays and Thursdays are great times. Transformation Tuesday, Throwback Thursday. You don't have to use that, but just know that you should be sharing a part of your story at least twice a week. And you'll notice that I just said you should be sharing a part of your story. It doesn't mean that you write out this huge kind of novel of your entire story and you share it every single time. Remember, I told you that you have struggles, you have obstacles, you have things that you went through, I should say. As you're kind of brainstorming and you're writing down all of those little specific kind of areas of your life and all of those specific obstacles, each and every single one can be a post, a specific post that you share. And as long as you share your story with the aim of wanting to inspire and empower others with the lesson that you learned, you're going to be serving others out there with your story. So know that. So know that it's not about sharing everything all at once, but it's about breadcrumbing and really making sure that you are sharing your story a little bit at a time, but very consistently. Okay? Awesome, guys. Well, I hope that gives you some tips on how to write your story. Again, if you need some help, definitely email me if I'm your coach, or email your sponsor coach so that they can give you some feedback. All right, guys. Have an amazing day. Bye. Tony, we gotta get hyped, people. Gotta get hyped. Luke, get hyped. We're gonna do a video. Okay, ready? Let's go.
I'm out here in these streets. Hype.
All right. Awesome. Okay.